Very good morning, children. In yesterday's class, you learned about the different cell organelles. Is it not, children? So you learned about the structure and function of nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, then lysosomes, Golgi apparatus, like that, cell wall, cell membrane, all the cell organelles you have learned. So in today's class, let us learn about another important cell organelle, that is said to be mitochondria. Mitochondria. Is it clear to you? So how we can observe this mitochondria, how the structure will be, then what are the different parts present in mitochondria. So all that if we observe, so we can learn the structure of mitochondria by conducting an activity. Is it clear to you? So what is that activity where it helps in observing mitochondria? So what we have to do means we have to take a freshly collected onion peel. Okay. So if we remove the outer coat of onion and we can observe very much transparent layer on the onion. So that is called as a onion peel. Then what we have to do? We have to take staining material. So different stains we are using. Is it not, children? In 8th class also you learnt methylene blue, glycerin. Is it not, children? So like that here Jonas Green Bee. Okay. So Jonas Green Bee solution we have to prepare. Freshly collected, freshly we have to prepare Jonas Green Bee solution by adding Jonas Green Bee crystals and in a beaker, and if you add water it forms Jonas Green Bee solution. So now we kept ready. So what is the aim? To observe the structure of mitochondria. What are the materials required? Onion peel, Jonas Green Bee solution, watch glass, water, glass slide, cover slip, microscope. So these are the materials required. So procedure. So what we have to do? We have to take onion peel. Then already whatever Jonas Green Bee solution, whatever it is prepared. So that solution we have to transfer it to the watch glass, and in that watch glass we have to keep the material. What is that material? Onion peel. Okay, for some time we have to keep. What time? Half an hour we have to keep onion peel in the Jonas Green Bee solution. Then gently we have to take it out from the Jonas Green Bee solution, and we have to keep it on the slide, glass slide we have to keep, and we have to cover it with the cover slip, and we have to observe it under the microscope. Okay. So now what kind of structures we are going to observe onion peel? So onion peel will be seen there like these cells which are very much closely packed. In that sometimes circular or cylindrical structures we are going to observe. So what are those round or cylindrical structures when we observe that onion peel under the microscope? Means they are nothing but mitochondria. So now here we are going to observe the mitochondria with the help of compound microscope. So if we see it with compound microscope, we are not going to see all the parts which are present in it, children. Is it clear to you? So now to observe, to study about the structure, we have to use electron microscope. So already you learned what are the uses of electron microscope. So electron microscope can magnify the living cells by more than 1 lakh times, and it can take the photographs of each and every cell organelle also. So that's why we can see clearly the parts of the mitochondria. Okay. So now what is the structure? I hope you learned the activity of how it will be done. So you will be asked, right, what materials are needed to observe mitochondria, or what is the staining material used. So staining material is used to see the particular part. So all the stains are not used for observing all the types of organelles. So here we are using different staining materials to observe the different cell organelles. So here what is the staining materials we are using? Jonas Green B solution. Jonas Green B solution. So you have to remember this, like that you will be asked questions. So now if we see the structure, if we observe that onion peel whichever is kept on the slide under the microscope, we are going to see the structure of mitochondria. Is it clear to you? So the mitochondria are 2.8 microns, 2 to 8 microns, 2 to 8 microns. So this 2 to 8 microns long, they will be seen, and 0.5 microns wide. And the number of mitochondria are ranging from 100 to 150. 100 to 150. So in each cell, you can take any cell, okay, like nucleus you can take, or other cell you can take, red blood cell you can take, any cell you can, if you take. So the mitochondria will be 100 to 150 in a number. Is it clear to you? And if we see the size of the microscope, it is 150 times smaller than the nucleus. 150 times smaller than the nucleus. So now you will be given question, write the structure of mitochondria with the help of a neat label diagram, like that you will be given question. So first introduction you have to write like this. So mitochondria are cylindrical or in a oval shape. Then they are 2 to 8 microns long and 0.5 microns wide. Okay, so long and width. So it will be seen there like that. So mitochondria will be seen there like this structures we are going to observe. So 2 to 8 microns long and 0.5 microns wide. Then it is the number of mitochondria will be 100 to 150. Okay, all the cells in whether it is plant cell or animal cell, it contains mitochondria 100 to 150 in number. Why it is there like that, we learn later what is the function when I am explaining you. Then it is very much smaller. Okay, with the help of compound microscope we can see the dark staining body present at the center, which we call it as a nucleus in the cell. So that can be seen clearly, whereas here mitochondria, as it is very much smaller than the nucleus of 150 times, so to observe the study we have to use electron microscope. So now if we observe it under the electron microscope, how the structure will be seen. Let us learn the diagram and what are the different parts in the mitochondria we will learn. So now let us learn the diagram of mitochondria. So mitochondria is a long cylindrical like this, and it is also covered with a membrane bound structure only. Then so now membrane bound structure, it contains two membranes. Two membranes are there. One is said to be outer membrane and other one is inner membrane. So this inner membrane, if we see, so it forms a large number of finger-like projections in the inner compartment. Is it clear to you? So it forms the large number of finger-like projections. Okay, so finger-like projections we can observe. Finger-like projections we can observe. So how that is formed? The inner membrane is formed as several foldings, which we call them as here cristae. Is it clear to you? So now outer membrane, it forms the outer compartment, and inner membrane, it is having several foldings which look like a finger. Okay, finger like projections we can observe. So that inner membrane, it forms the inner compartment, like also we can learn then. So this finger like projections, what we are observing, they are called as cristae. They are called as cristae. So large number of finger like projections, whatever we are observing in mitochondria, are called as cristae. So now this is outer membrane and outer compartment, and then this is outer membrane, and this is a inner membrane, and the finger like projections which are present are called as cristae. So now inside this cristae, if we observe, there is a colorless substance is present. So that colorless substance, whichever is present inside this, we call it as a matrix. Okay, matrix means just like a cytoplasm, like. Okay, so it is present in the inner compartment or inside the inner membrane or inside the cristae. So this is the structure. So mitochondria are oval or cylindrical in shape, and it is also membrane bound cell organelle. It contains two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. So outer membrane forms the outer compartment and inner membrane forms the inner compartment. And inner membrane, it is going to form as several foldings which form as a cristae. Is it clear to children? Now cristae, if we observe, cristae, if we observe that inner compartment, so now like this, if we see, like this we are going to observe. So this structure is cristae, is it not children? So on the cristae, we are going to observe large number of structures like this. Okay, what do we call these structures which are present on the cristae inside? So like this, for example, you can take they will be present there like this. Is it clear to you? So cristae are present, cristae are having large number of structures, small minute structures. So what do we call them? Means they are called as elementary particles. So this finger like structure is called cristae. Is it clear to you? So elementary particles are present on the cristae. So what is the importance of this elementary particles? So these elementary particles are having large number of respiratory enzymes. So these elementary particles will have large number of respiratory enzymes. Is it clear to you? Respiratory enzyme. So what you can understand with this word? So as the mitochondria contains large number of elementary particles on which these respiratory enzymes are there, means obviously you'll get the function of mitochondria. Is it not children? So what is the function? The mitochondria takes part in respiration. Is it clear to you? So as that on the elementary particles of cristae, large number of respiratory enzymes are present. Respiratory enzyme means it is a biological catalyst. Enzyme is a chemical which are produced in different parts of our body, children. You will learn that in next higher classes. You are going to learn enzymes. So many enzymes are produced. To some extent you have an idea also. We have two types of glands, exocrine glands and endocrine glands. Exocrine glands are going to produce enzymes which take part in digestion, respiration, etc. Endocrine glands are producing hormones they are going to take part in the overall growth and development of our body. Physiological activities are controlled, like that you learned in the lesson reaching the age of adolescence. I hope you remember that content of the lesson. So here all these elementary particles, large number of proteins are there and respiratory enzymes are there. What do they do means as they contain these enzymes which are said to be the biological catalysts which help in respiration. Okay, so that what will happen means energy is released. Have you followed, children? So the mitochondria function. What is the function of mitochondria means what is the function of mitochondria means it helps in cellular respiration. Cellular respiration. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? What is the function of mitochondria means it helps in cellular respiration. You will get a doubt what is this cellular respiration. Okay, you know that in the process of photosynthesis the plants are preparing food, organic molecule is prepared. Okay, so from the plants the energy source, that organic molecule glucose or starch which is prepared by the plants is entering into the animals, and human beings, we people are going to consume animal and plant products. Okay, like non-veg we are eating and plant products we are eating like dal, then cereals or pulses or fruits, vegetables we are consuming. Is it not, children? Why we are consuming means to get energy. Is it not, children? So to get energy we are taking food. I hope you understood. Is it clear to you? So when we take the food, what is going to happen? The food is getting digested in the digestive system, and the complex food, like we are eating different varieties of food items. Carnivorous animals are eating raw flesh. Is it not, children? Herbivorous animals are eating plant products like grass they are going to eat. So that will be converted to simple form. In which process? In the process of digestion. So after the digestion, it is going to mix up in the blood. Is it clear to you? It is transported into the blood, and in the blood what is happening means whatever the oxygen we are breathing in. So in which process we breathe in air, children? That is respiration. So when we are breathing in air, the oxygen also will reach the blood, and here the breakdown of that is food, energy source, breakdown of glucose is going to happen. Is it clear to you? So that process is called as respiration. So what is meant by respiration? You will give answer. The process of breathing in air and breathing out air is called respiration like. But here, whether it is amoeba, which is said to be a single-celled animal, or multicellular organisms like human beings, if we take, we are all depending on glucose as an energy source. Is it clear to you? So the glucose, when it is present in the blood, it is going to be getting broken down with the help of oxygen, whatever we are breathing in. Is it clear to you? Where that oxidation of glucose, when it happens, breakdown of glucose will take place, which helps in release of carbon dioxide and water. Is it clear to you? So here whenever we are taking food, in the digestion the food is changed to simple form, glucose, and the glucose will enter into the blood through transport system, and whatever oxygen we are breathing on also will reach the blood, and breakdown of glucose will take place. So oxidation of glucose in release of energy along with carbon dioxide and water is called respiration. What energy is released in our body, children? Heat energy is released. That point you have to remember. What for that heat energy is needed? For the survival. Any living organism is surviving because of energy releasing process. That energy whichever is released, we are going to consume for our all the activities, different activities which we are going to perform. Is it clear to you? So now here what is meant by cellular respiration means each and every cell present in our body. So I am respiring means okay, through the respiratory system, the process of breathing in air and breathing out air will take place. That you can understand like okay, what respiration. Is it clear to you? So cellular respiration means you know that as we are respiring means each and every cell present in any living organism are also respiring. Is it clear to you? So the process of releasing of energy is happening in each and every cell. So cell contains this mitochondria also, na children. Have you followed? One of the cell organelles. Is it clear to you? So each and every cell are going to perform the process of respiration, and they are going to release the energy. So that cellular activities whichever are going to happen, that is getting energy. Each and every cell, like amoeba also you can take, or any other cells present in our body, or any other animal or plant you can take. So that process is called as cellular respiration. Okay, what is meant by respiration means oxidation of glucose in release of energy along with carbon dioxide and water. So carbon dioxide we are just releasing out. It will expel into the atmosphere. Is it clear to you? So that process is called respiration. But here each and every cell present in the living organism is performing the process of respiration. So it is called as a cellular respiration. Is it clear to you? Suppose if we are not taking food, so usually we take food at regular intervals of time, no children. Morning breakfast, lunch, then dinner, like that 3 or 4 times we are taking food. By chance, suppose if we are not taking food, we are not dying, is it not? And we feel somewhat little bit weak, but we are getting energy. So how we get energy means here the mitochondria is helping. Okay, so mitochondria is going to store energy. Store energy. Is it clear to you? The excess energy whichever is prepared is stored in mitochondria in the form of ATP. ATP full form adenosine triphosphate. Is it clear to you? So adenosine triphosphate, in the form of this chemical energy, it is stored in mitochondria, and whenever we are in need of energy, from that time the ATP will be converted to ADP and energy is released. That's why it is called it is a cellular respiration, and the energy is stored in mitochondria. So this mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. What is the function here? As it stores energy in the form of ATP, so mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. Is it clear to you? Powerhouse of the cell. Powerhouse means what? Power, energy house. Which energy is stored in which form? In the form of ATP. Is it clear to you? Where? Which cell organelle? That is mitochondria. So from that mitochondria only, that energy whichever is present in the form of ATP, it is getting oxidized and releasing heat energy. Is it clear to you? So it stores energy and it provides energy, heat energy to each and every cell present in our body. So that's why mitochondria, as it stores energy, it is called as powerhouse of the cell. Apart from that, from that stored energy only, the heat is released, so it is taking part in cellular respiration. Our cellular activities are going to be carried out by the mitochondria. Is it clear to children? So mitochondria is a cylindrical or oval in shape, and it is membrane bound cell organelle, outer membrane and inner membrane. So inner membrane, it forms several foldings, finger like foldings it forms, and which we call them as cristae, and the cristae are filled with a colorless fluid or substance which we call it as matrix, and cristae, if we observe still under the electron microscope, we can see the structures which we call as elementary particles. So these structures we call them as head. This one we call it as stalk. So the elementary particles contain large number of respiratory enzymes and proteins. So it will help in the release of energy. It stores energy, and from that stored energy only, whenever the cell is in need, it is going to release the energy. So that's why mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. I hope you understood, children. Then now we learn about another cell organelle. Cell organelle or cell organelles, which we call them as ribosomes. Ribosomes. Is it clear to you? So if I say this ribosomes, are you going to remember? So if you turn the previous part of the lesson which I taught, so you have observed ribosomes are granular substances or particles which are present on endoplasmic reticulum, like that you remember, I think. Okay, so now these ribosomes are very much smaller, tiny, granular structures which are present in the cell, whether it is plant cell or animal cell, or a prokaryotic cell or eukaryotic cell. Okay, sometimes they are present freely like this in a cell. And so if you observe any animal cell or a plant cell, so your nucleus is there, and the ribosomes sometimes they will be present there like this, or sometimes they are attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. Is it clear to children? So here nucleus you can see, and on this you can see endoplasmic reticulum. On that you can observe large number of dotted structures like this. In plant cell or animal cell, it will be seen there like this. So these are called ribosomes. Sometimes the ribosomes are present freely also. If they are present free, then they are called as the free ribosomes. If they are present in group, they are called as the polysomes. Is it clear to you? So on you learned about endoplasmic reticulum, children. Do you remember? So you have learned like this structure or not? I hope you remember. So smooth endoplasmic, because it got names because of presence of ribosomes only, no? So if ribosomes are there like this, we call it as a rough endoplasmic reticulum, as it doesn't have a smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So now ribosomes are said to be granular like structures. So these also ribosomes. Is it clear to you? So ribosomes are circular, tiny, granular like structures which are present in the cell, and ribosomes are freely present or they are present on the endoplasmic reticulum in groups. Like if they are freely present, they are called as free ribosomes, and if they are present on the endoplasmic reticulum, then they are called as even polysomes also. Group, poly means many. Is it clear to you, children? Then what is the function of ribosomes? Okay, what is the function of ribosomes? Already you learnt or not rough endoplasmic reticulum? What is the function? So as that rough endoplasmic reticulum contains the ribosomes. So what is the function of RER means? You said that it helps in protein synthesis. So here you know that what is the function of ribosomes means? It helps in protein synthesis. Protein synthesis. So synthesis of proteins is happening because of ribosomes. Is it clear to children? I hope you understood this small granular like structures which are present in the cell, which are called as ribosomes. Okay. In prokaryotic organisms, we observe they are present in the cytoplasm like polysomes. Whereas in eukaryotic organisms like animal cell or plant cell, they will be present on the this endoplasmic reticulum, or sometimes they will be present freely. Is it clear to children? So in that way you learned about the ribosomes and their function. In 8th class, you learned about diversity in cells. Okay, about that we learn some other more points in next class, tomorrow's class. So in this lesson, in today's lesson, you learned about structure of mitochondria and ribosomes and their functions. Is it clear to you? So tomorrow we will learn about the diagrams of plant cell and animal cell, and along with the cells are the same, or from where the cells are going to be produced. Apart from that, we are going to learn another interesting topic which we call it as a cell theory. Is it clear to children? So that we are going to discuss in tomorrow's class.